4th season of Lotus Riche Night Show, bringing you realness, authenticity, and unparalleled wisdom from top leaders, business professionals, pioneers, and everyday people. Thank you for joining us. Have a great time during the show.
All right, it's dynamite. It's time to ignite and take flight in every area of your life as the Lotus Riche Night Show soars to new heights.
Tonight, our phenomenal guest is none other than
Marcy McDonald.
Tiny gestures that let me know that she was seeing me and that she could see there was a challenging time and that she cared about me. Those little tiny gestures, every time she made one, lifted me up. And it was like a life raft to keep me going through that most difficult year. So this week, if you have a teacher in your life or your kid's life or your grandkid's life, please, by all means, say thank you. But the other thing I'd like you to think about is who around you looks like is giving off the signs of having a difficult time in their lives. If you notice this, just make a small gesture. Say a friendly hello, or your lipstick looks great today, or great service, thank you so much. Any tiny little gesture can be a lifeline when you're going through a period that's a constant struggle, because it makes you feel heard. It makes you feel seen. It makes you feel like you are somebody worth looking at and noticing. It's a very powerful and simple way to help us lift each other up. So give that a whirl this week. We do not know how much time we have on this planet. So I invite you to, all through today, live it, love it, and learn from it. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
over here tonight on the Lotus Riche.
We've got it right here, Marcy McDonald tonight, folks. Here's Dr. Lotus Riche. Hey, folks, and welcome to the show. I have a phenomenal guest with me, as I normally do, and she is a powerhouse, and she's going to help us tonight do a miraculous thing. And I know you might be saying, what's this miraculous thing she's going to help us do? She is going to help us with our mindset. It's a strategy for success. And if you are looking to be successful, but guess what? If you're already successful, don't you want to keep that success going? Don't you want to just let that success ooze off you and share it with the rest of the world? I think you do. And because I think you do, people all over the world are ready to hear your story. People all over the world are ready to connect with you. Yet, if they don't have the right mindset themselves, or if you don't have the right mindset yourself, connecting is going to be really hard. But guess what? Tonight, I've got Marcy McDonald, and she's here with us tonight, and she's going to talk about some mindset strategies that's going to help you be more successful than you've ever been before. Now, let's get right into this. When you come into the show, I always say, come on in, come on in, come on in, and get in where you fit in, because I've always got room right around my table for you. And so as you come in, please share with us where you're coming in from. Let us know what city, what town, what country you're coming in from, because we want to give you a shout out and say hello and thank you, because we greatly appreciate you. So with no further ado, I'm going to tell you this. When you come in, go ahead and put some loves in there. So go ahead and give Marcy some loves and let us know. And also let us be able to share who you are and where you're coming in from. Like this guest from Richmond, Virginia just popped in. Hey, Richmond, Virginia. He just popped in and put Richmond, Virginia. Now, we don't see your picture on the screen, but we'd love to see your picture on the screen and let us know where you're coming in from. So with no further ado, I'm going to cut to a quick commercial, and then we're about to get this party started. See you in a second.
It's time for you you to start bossing in social media. For all your social media needs, you've come to the right place at the right time to get your website designed, landing page, social media platforms, and get the training you need to get in front of the people that's ready to buy your products and services. Let me train you with StreamYard, Zoom, Clubhouse, and much more. And let me help you get your virtual professionals, not assistants, because assistants can only assist you, but the virtual professionals can give you that professional flavor that you need to expand your reach and increase your revenue. Jump on in and get in where you fit in and start bossing today.
All right. So I know I said I'm going to go back there and grab Marcy and bring her out. But listen, folks, we want you to invite as many people into the show tonight. We have a great show. It's called Mindset, a strategy for success. How many of you are trying to be successful by changing your mindset? Because your mind is the matter over your matters. So if you're having trouble, if you're struggling with anything, tonight is the night that you want to be there. And listen, go ahead to my page. Go to the Lotus Riche Ignite page. You can go to the Lotus page and go ahead and share this over into your page so everybody you're connected with can see the show. Okay? And we're doing a wonderful new thing here at the Lotus Riche Ignite Show. If you are one of our top viewers, our top supporters, we've got something special for you. And so as you come on in and get in where you fit in, go ahead and put some L's in the comment block below. So when Marcy comes in, she can see that you are here for her. So with no further ado, I'm going to bring right to you this thing right here. Check this out. Here we go, guys. It's another magnificent show tonight. Mindset.
The new season of the Lotus Riche Ignite Show, bringing you realness, authenticity, and unparalleled wisdom from top leaders, business professionals, pioneers, and everyday people. Thank you for joining us. Have a great time during the show.
Welcome, Marcy. What's going on, Marcy? It looks like we've got a lot going on behind the scenes. It's still playing. It does not want to stop playing yet. Hold on one second. Let me stop it. There we go. Marcy, how you doing? I think you're muted, Marcy.
Oops.
There we go. You're unmuted.
Okay. All right. Yes. What a treat to be on a show with you. Lotus Ignites is the perfect name for what you do. And I'm thrilled to be here to ignite the passions and the people we've got watching tonight.
Awesome. So, of course, Marcy, you and I, we've talked. You do a phenomenal job on the planet, helping people sometimes that don't believe in themselves. And so, Marcy, I wanted to talk to our guests all around the world and tell them a little bit more about you. And I know you're probably going to be bashful, but folks, I know you want to see Marcy get red in the face, right? Okay, so I want you guys to welcome our mindset strategist. She's an empowerment coach. She's a speaker, and she's here tonight to talk with you. She helps people basically, she helps entrepreneurs all around the world who struggle to believe in themselves and gain powerhouse, not just okay, but powerhouse confidence, so they have the drive, the energy, the focus, and the tenacity they need to build their businesses. Marcy, you've also been featured on season 2 of that new reality show called 4 Days to Save the World. So I know about that. That's some secret sauce, and we're going to talk about that tonight. And then I know the show is going to air in July. And so I'm letting out some secret sauce, folks. This is a new show that she's going to be on. It's coming in July, and some of you may have been hearing it for the first time right here. I don't know. But this is going to be on so many major platforms such as Amazon Prime and Hulu, et cetera, et cetera. And not only that, Marcy is the author of Build Happiness. Change your perspective and change your life. She's the creator of the unique coaching tool Unblocks. And in addition, Marcy is a contributing author in 4 volumes, or a volume 4 of the best-selling book. And I'm going to let her tell you. So Marcy, tell them what best-selling book you're a part of.
Oh, Transforming Your Life. It's a fantastic series that's put out by Cy Blackburn, who's an amazing coach. And it's all about stories to help you really make significant changes in your life. Not just the things where you think, oh yeah, I'll do that. But no, the things you really need to do so that you can have the life you've been wishing for.
Exactly. So make sure you get that book, Transforming Your Life, once it comes out in July. So let's get right into it. I want to say thank you to our audience that's here with us. We've got a bunch of folks chiming in. So Marcy, let's go ahead and say hey to Jamija. I asked him to put some L's in there and give you some love as soon before you even came on the stage. So we got people already giving you some love. So thank you so much, everybody that's giving out the love. We greatly appreciate you. Okay. And somebody said they don't know why their picture is not showing. We hope you get that situated. We'd love to see your wonderful face, but thank you so much for chiming in here on the show. And so, you know what we're going to do. We're going to get Marcy to talking a lot more about herself. So Marcy, I told the folks a bit about you, but would you please tell the folks a bit more about who you are?
So there is so much I could say about myself, and we'll get a little bit more into my story later about how I came to be a coach. But the first thing people need to understand is that I am an escapee from the corporate world. I climbed that corporate ladder and I got very high up. I was earning 6 figures and going to work every morning crying because I ended up just hating my job. And it was my dream job when I got it. So a lot of people out there who are entrepreneurs may have been in the same situation, but I want to tell you that whatever mindset you had there is still your mindset if you're an entrepreneur. No matter what you're trying to do, it's all about what you're telling yourself you can do and who you should be and who you are. So even though I was at the top of my game, really one of the experts in the country, if not the world, in my area, I still every day thought, I'm not good enough. I need to work more hours, volunteer for everything. It didn't matter when I was putting in 80, 90-hour work weeks. I was still in the back of my mind thinking, they're going to figure out that I'm a middle-aged woman and they need to boot me, So I took all my meaning from work, and that is not where our meaning comes from.
Exactly. I once read a book, Marcy, that shared that if you take away a person's title, you take away their job, soon they will wither away, and many times they just die out.
Yes.
And I've really seen that to be a true fact for many people. And so tonight, again, for those of you that's just joining us, our topic tonight is mindset, a strategy for success. And I have none other than the amazing. She's a entrepreneur. She's an author. She's a strategist. She's an empowerment coach, none other than Miss Marcy McDonald. And so we're going to get right into it. And as we get into it, Marcy, I'd like for you to share with us, if you would, what inspired you to come to the show? Because we're super happy to have you.
Lotus, first of all, you're an inspiration. I definitely wanted to have a conversation with you because I love the work you're doing for people, especially women, to empower women to be the leaders they're meant to be. But also because over the last year and a half, I've realized that many, in fact, probably most female entrepreneurs do not have the confidence in themselves that they need. So I wanted a platform to be able to get on, talk directly to female entrepreneurs to remind them that you are enough. And I'm going to help you get to that point where you understand in the deepest part of your bones and your soul that you are enough. So no matter what you're telling yourself about how you can't do it or you're not good enough, blah, 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 that's just stuff that you're now I'm giving you permission to shed. So that's
Yes.
why I wanted to be on here tonight. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. So Marcy, tell us how you got your start going. Because I know that you've had some challenges. You had your dream job. You said, no, I'm going to walk away from it. And I've been there too. I've had my dream job. I loved it. Yet at some juncture, you figure out this isn't all I want to do in my life. So how did you get your start from leaving that dream job to doing what you do today?
Yeah, it was kind of a crazy journey, like it probably is for most of us. And I know it has been for you, which is that I decided to leave my job and wrote up my notice, and I carried it around with me for 9 months. But God was not ready for me to go yet. But then 5 members of my family got critically ill all at the same time. I was the only person who could help them. And I had my house up for sale for 9 months or something. And as soon as I thought I could be the one to help them, I sold my house and I was out in 20 days. So God opened the door for me. I didn't know what I was going to do besides help the people who needed me. And I always feel like God puts us where we're most needed. I figured I'll help them. I'll get everyone settled. And then in a couple weeks or a month, whatever it took, then I'd get another job because I'd always been the responsible breadwinner.
Right.
But once I got everyone settled, I was burnt out. I was fried, crispy. And I thought, okay, I'll take 2 weeks off. And I put everything in storage. I got in my car and I headed out west I was on the East Coast. And I ended up taking 10 months to travel around the West, just house sitting, staying with friends. Everything I had was in my car. And it was the first time I'd ever given myself permission to really deeply heal the things I've been carrying around with me my whole life. I tried to fix them. I tried to heal them. But as you know, you can change all the external circumstances in your life. You can jump in a car, drive across country. You can change jobs. You can change husbands. But what really matters is what you change internally. And it wasn't until I started doing freelance work and I had a client who is a neuroscientist. And he explained to me that we have a rational part of our brain and an emotional part of our brain. And I always thought the rational part of my brain was in charge because I'm a very practical person. But hello, that is not the case. So you just blinked, Lotus, and in the time you just blinked, your emotional mind processed a quadrillion bits of information. So it is the mind in charge. And that blew me apart in terms of my understanding of everything I knew about myself and how I felt and what I thought. That's really what launched me into the journey to where I am today, even though there were a lot of detours on the way. It was the understanding that the way I perceived the world was not really the way it had to be anymore.
Right. Wow. That's awesome. And you know, I got to tell you, a lot of times the journey is a lonely journey. And sometimes we have to learn to make connections with the right people. And I know since you've been emerging and doing what you do to help people all around the world, you started branching out and you started being on expos and virtual summits and things of that nature. And so I know you had a virtual summit most recently, I think on the 18th, where you did the Integrative Wellness Expo and Conference virtual summit. You did that, and you were with a lot of other women thought leaders. And you never cease to amaze me how you always pay homage, if you will, and give credit to where credit is due. You, in one of your videos I watched, you talked about Debbie Allen as being one of your coaches, how she helped you and how she helped to nourish you, so to speak. And you further recommended her. And I'm saying all that to say this. A lot of times when we come out of where we are, we come out of the struggle. We have to have somebody, a mentor, that can help us overcome to get to where we're trying to go. And it's without question that you help people to get to where they're trying to go. And it's not always roses. You said Alan, she talked to you and it wasn't always roses. So we know how you got your start. We know that you pay homage to the people who have helped you. What comes to mind when I say, don't be a wannabe leader? What comes to mind?
There are so many things that we could throw under that title there. But one thing that comes to mind is the notion that you must set your intention about every encounter you have. So I actually started this when I was still at my corporate job. I would go into the boardroom. I was often the only woman there. And my department had a $10 million budget. And so the meetings were a lot about politics and positioning and whatever. But what I realized as I began this process of shifting my mind, even before I left, was that my intention as I walked into that boardroom has to be totally aligned with my purpose. And I'm gonna lay out to you my intention and my purpose, because this is something I have my clients do all the time, because people think purpose is some enormous giant thing that you have to do. And so it becomes daunting to them. Purpose is actually your intention of how you live moment to moment all through your day. And you do that by clarifying your intention. Here's mine. Help me to be a channel of your healing, your love, and your grace. Help me to do all such good works as thou hast prepared for me to walk in. Help me to bring out the best in everyone and everything and reflect the light of God in others. When I started saying that to myself before I walked into the boardroom, it completely changed the nature of the encounter and the interactions I had with everybody, because it was no longer, hey, I want to grab another million for my department. It was, oh my gosh, what does this person need? How can I reflect the light of God in that person? And that's the same thing I take into every encounter. I prayed that before we got on tonight. I pray it before I start writing my content for the book I'm working on now, before every interaction with a client, before every talk. And that is something that every single person here, if they just position themselves alongside an intention for how they want to live and be remembered at the end of their days, then you become that leader that you want to be. Now, we didn't mention it, but I have training as an end-of-life doula. And this completely shifted to the next level, the mindset that I have and that I use when I'm working with clients, because I sat bedside with a patient who was dying. He had only been given a week to live. It was during the height of COVID. And even though he wasn't dying of COVID, he was faced with the fact that, hey, you've got 7 days to live. And his niece contacted me to say, hey, my uncle has all these regrets about his life, and he's not dying at peace with his life. So I said, okay, I will talk to him. And she literally held up the laptop in front of him. So I want everyone here to just picture for a second. Imagine that you're lying in bed. You're too weak to lift your arms. Someone is having to hold a laptop in front of you while you tell me your life story. And as he recounted his life story, and my job was only to listen, not to judge, I could hear all the things he had said to himself for decades that were negative, that interpreted his life and his actions in a derogatory way. And I reframed those things for him. I shifted them so that I didn't say anything false. I just told him the truth of what had really happened. And I took all that judgment out of it. He was able to die at peace with himself just a few days later. When I did this, I realized that no one watching this should get to the end of their days feeling this way about themselves. They do not need to. They need to number their days, look at their self-talk, and shift it so that you're living intentionally day after day, understanding the gift you have of being able to live and be freed of all that junk you've been carrying around in your mind all your life.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And look, we've got some great comments coming in too. And folks, listen, if you've not shared this broadcast yet, we're going to give you a few seconds to go ahead and share this broadcast out, because we're going to give 5 to 10 tips before the end of the broadcast. And if you look in the chat, Marcy, you'll see again some stuff we were chatting about. We are going to give you some tips. I always say note takers are money makers and note takers are change makers. Guess what? When you implement the notes that you take, because let's face it, you can't get anywhere if you don't implement the notes. So we're going to give you a couple minutes and we'll be right back.
It's time for you to start bossing in social media. For all your social media needs, you've come to the right place at the right time to get your website designed, landing page, social media platforms, and get the training you need to get in front of the people that's ready to buy your products and services. Let me train you with StreamYard, Zoom, Clubhouse, and much more. And let me help you get your virtual professionals, not assistants, because assistants can only assist you, but the virtual professionals can give you that professional flavor that you need to expand your reach and increase your revenue. Jump on in and get in where you fit in and start bossing today.
I had the opportunity to work with Lotus Riche and her team to create a promo video for my business. And let me tell you, she and her team are pretty darn outstanding. I had recorded a video that we were going to use in the promo. And during our meeting, they actually walked me through what worked in the video, and they provided suggestions for improving the video so that I can actually capture the audience and the clients that I want and the people that need my services. They actually told me what I could add to the video and how to set the entire thing up so that when people watch that promo, they will come away knowing who I am, what I do, and why they should contact me. So if you have the chance to work with Lotus Riche and her team, you are not going to be disappointed.
Hey there, it's Marcy McDonald. Be sure to watch me on the Lotus Riche Ignite Show this Wednesday, June 29th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be explosive, informative, and inspirational. I'll see you there.
Hello, and welcome back. And so you just heard it from Marcy McDonald. She's here with me tonight on the Lotus Riche Ignite Show. And I'm so happy, super duper thankful for all of our viewers around the world. And we hope that you took 30 seconds to 2 minutes to let people know where you are and tag them. And so I want to say hi, Miss Stewart. Thank you so much. Hola to you too, Miss Stewart. Earlier I saw that you said you were streaming from work. So welcome to the show. Please let us know, everyone, where you are streaming from. And of course, Yamaji Jubilee is streaming in from Virginia. Thank you so much. And so someone else is with us. Take a read. Tell us who that is, Marcy.
That just says, Facebook user, what's your name, honey? Tell us what, watching from Atlanta. So glad to have you.
All right, fantastic. And Yamaji said, wherever you go, there you are. And I love that, because no matter what you do, no matter what package you're wrapped in, no matter what you think of or how you think, and wherever you go, because you can go to escape, but there you are. So let's talk about that. What came over you when you saw that?
Oh, me, not Yamada. Yes. Actually, what I thought about is how I used to try a lot of things because I knew something wasn't right. You know, I knew I wasn't happy, and I would try everything. I tried Tai Chi, I tried yoga, I tried meditation, I tried drinking, that didn't work. I tried all kinds of things, and everything helped to a degree. I had enough self-help books that you could carpet my floor with them. But the problem is that all of those things just were a short-term fix. They didn't get me to take action on a daily basis, which is what you need to do in order to be successful and also to change your mindset. What you're doing is changing habits and patterns, and that takes time.
Exactly. That's the truth. And thank you, Yamaja, for your comment. That was fantastic. And Angie said, people need people. And then thank you so much, Angie, for saying that. Let's talk about it.
Being an entrepreneur, I think, is one of the loneliest things you can do. And you mentioned this at the beginning of the show. It is so important to reach out to like-minded people, but also to different-minded people, because they're the ones who are going to shake up your thinking a little bit and get you to keep going. But also, I think people need coaches in this industry. As you mentioned, I have a coach I've used for my branding, positioning, and speaking. I also coach her because she had gotten to a point at the beginning of the year where she felt just kind of lost. She is super successful. She's an amazing woman, but we all get to a point where we feel kind of lost and lonely and isolated. And that's when you need to be reaching out to get a coach, doing your networking, connecting to people like the people on this show, everybody who's tuned in. Why not connect to each other? Because you already know these are like-minded people. Exactly. Shake it up, baby. Shake it up.
I love it. Ms. Stewart, thank you for watching again from work. And Angie says that, and first of all, Angie's watching on YouTube. So if you have not connected with us on YouTube, I'll ask for you to please connect with us on YouTube. Go to Lotus Riche Ignites on YouTube and ring that bell so you don't ever miss a show or some excellent information or some free giveaways that we're giving away. And so Angie said, your life purpose, or your life has purpose. You were born to make an impact. So take action. The world is your stage. What do you say about that, Marcy?
You know what? If we weren't put here for a purpose, then what a horrible mistake it's been. But we were put here for a purpose, and Angie's completely right. And when you recognize that you're put here for a purpose, it doesn't have to be grand, as I said before. It can just be to be loving, to be kind, to do service, to be grateful for what you have every single day. That's all part of our purpose. When you remember that, then it's easier to get out of the mindset of negativity.
Yes.
Because what's the point of negativity? It's not serving your purpose.
That's the truth. And Miss Lighty said that, wow, you're awesome. People need people like you. So thank you so much. And you're awesome too. And this goes back to what you said earlier, Marcy, that, we need other people around us and we need to reach out to like-minded people. And I challenge each and every one of you, connect with the person that you see here on the show in positive ways. Okay. Please make sure you're connecting with them for a great intention to help spread positivity around the world, because I don't want you to connect with somebody on some foolishness. Okay, can I go there? Yep, I can go there. Don't connect with someone on some foolishness and asking them for money or asking them for things when it has nothing to do with helping you with your mindset and being the best you can be and set yourself up for success. Because I don't want you going back and say, Lotus told me to contact you on some foolishness. Give me a loan. No, don't do that. And Yamaja said, and a therapist too. So we talked about a coach, but also a therapist too. Why do people, why do you think people need a therapist?
It's a great question. And I often tell people, I think there's a real difference between therapy and coaching. And I've been through therapy. I mean, I grew up in just a crazy situation. My mom was psychotic. She was manic depressive and schizophrenic. And so that made for some wild times, believe me. I had a lot to unpack that I've been carrying with me my whole life. And therapy really helped me dig in and understand things that I wasn't able to see myself. Therapy, though, has, while it has an amazing track record with trauma and helping you see yourself better, it doesn't always have a clear end goal. And I think coaching is much more about a goal, things you're trying to attain. So with me, I have a 12-week one-on-one program. It's 12 weeks because it takes you 30 days to break a habit, 30 days to build a habit, 60 days to imprint that habit, and then the full 90 days to practice that habit. And then, baby, you're done. We might give you some support, but my goal is that by the end of that time, you have really radically shifted your mindset and how you talk to yourself and how you're living, thinking, and feeling every single day. If I haven't done that, then I haven't succeeded. But I have a 100% success rate with people who do the work. That's a big difference between therapy and coaching. And you do see programs where they say, you know, sign up for another year. Well, if you've got a different goal, then you can tap into an expert for a different goal for another year. Yes. But if you're doing the work and you're setting clear goals, then your coaching should have an end game around it. And I know you do too, Lotus. You've got goals that you want your people to meet, and you want them to do the work or else they won't meet it.
Miss Stewart said, I believe I was born in April for a reason. Share that reason with us if you like. And Angie says, even the smallest stone causes a large ripple in the pond. What do you think about that?
Angie, I say amen to that, because some people ask me sometimes, why do I give free talks? Well, you know, why do I help people? For instance, when I get on a networking call, 9 times out of 10, I don't end up talking about my program more than to say what I'm doing, but I ask, how can I support you? What can I do? And I'm old. I have a lot of knowledge in a lot of different areas. And I can be a ripple in anybody's pond, even if I'm not doing my particular area of expertise that I have clients in. Everybody is meant to be a ripple on a pond. It doesn't matter how big or how little. So,
exactly. And I
good
love
comment, my friend.
And thank you so much for that comment as well, Angie and Raja, just amazing. Quadasia, Miss Stewart, and Gail, she said, wow. So Gail, let us know where you're streaming in from. We'd love to know where you're streaming in from. And for those of you that are joining us from around the world, thank you so much. Some folks I can see and some folks I'm not seeing. So if I'm not seeing you, please allow your comments to be shared, because your comments are worthwhile and we want to share them with the world. You don't know, there's somebody in France that's watching this. There's somebody in Burundi, South Africa that's watching this. There's somebody in Peru that's watching this. There's somebody in the Philippines that's watching this show. There's somebody in Madagascar. And I want to thank all of my viewers from all around the world that watch this show. And so your words may help somebody that you haven't met, or that you might never meet, or that you might meet right here on this show. How about that? So Miss Lottie says, wow, I'm taking some amazing notes. And like I always say, thank you so much, Miss Lottie. Note takers are money makers. Note takers are change makers. And remember, money is not just, when I talk about currency, I'm not talking about just the greenbacks, the dead presidents. I'm talking about the currency of knowing someone, the currency of being connected with someone, because there's a wealth that cannot be measured in dollars and cents. Okay? There's a wealth that cannot be measured in dollars and cents when you connect. And so Ms. Stewart said, because I feel as if you guys are talking to me. Well, fantastic. And guess what? We are talking to you and we're talking with you. And we hope that the messages that Marcy and I are sharing tonight are great. And Marcy, who else do we have and where's she coming in from?
Look, Tracy's here from Chicago. Welcome. I bet it's a lot darker there than it is here. You might be getting storms, but you know what? The storms are always outside. Here's the goal of being clear in your mindset, is that it doesn't matter what the hurricane is. You will always be the eye of the storm, never the storm itself.
Awesome. And what did Miss Stewart say?
I need to love myself and tap in my talent. You know what, Miss Stewart? I'm going to give you permission to do that. I just want you to rewrite this. Okay, we're going to do a little reframing right now, which is when you hear yourself and you change what it is you're saying yourself to something true. So instead of saying, I need to love myself, which is certainly true, we all need to love myself. I want you to just write in right now, I am learning to love myself because I know I am worthy. I am learning to love myself because I know I am worthy. Let's see it, my friend. Just type that in. I am learning to love myself because I know I am worthy. Words have so much power. And when you write, you give those words even more power, because part of our brain responds to writing. It responds more to handwriting than to typing, but it sets up a part of your brain that begins to connect neural pathways. Good for you. Look at that.
Awesome.
Isn't that so powerful? Here's what else I want you to do. After this is done, I want you to write that on a piece of paper, and I want you to stick it on your mirror, on your fridge, everywhere you can. And every time you see that, I want you to read it aloud, because now you are starting to make that true. Angie, same with you. Write it down, put it up, say it aloud, because all three of those steps will begin to shift your mindset, build new neural pathways, create new habits of thinking, feeling, and behaving. Phyllis, you too. I love this. I love this. You are all learning to love yourselves because you are worthy. You are already good enough. Note takers are money makers and change makers. And people who write things down are engaging the brain in a way to create those new neural pathways. And it practices those thoughts. So it's like you're acting it out, and it makes it happen. Yes, repeating is believing. Well, we've got a wonderful group here today.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. Yamaja says connection, community, and compassion, and communication with our authentic self, the divine, than others. So what I'm hearing her say is that we got to start from within. We have to connect within ourselves, find that sweet spot, that love, that compassion and caring and positive communication with ourselves. And then once we do that, it has no other way to go but out, and it emanates, and it's like a light, and people see that. What are your thoughts about that?
That's a beautiful way of putting it. So I really appreciate that. I want to add that in order to do that, we have to shine a light in ourselves, first of all. So what happens is that more than 70% of people have negative self-talk. I actually think it's higher than that, because most people don't realize they have negative self-talk. They're so used to saying these things to themselves all the time that they never actually hear it. It's like have you ever been in a hotel room or a dark room? Maybe you're staying at a friend's house and the lights are off and you have to go to the bathroom, and you walk through the house and you stub your toe because you can't see anything. The next night you do it again. You never think to change those things. You have to get out that flashlight and turn it on yourself to start noticing what it is you're telling yourself. You cannot change anything unless you hear it first. So it has to start inside.
Right. And so we know that many people have negative self-talk. So let's talk positive. So remember, we said we're going to give you all 5 to 10 tips before you go. So make sure you write them down. So here's a quick tip. Again, many people have negative self-talk. So when you hear somebody doing all this chatter in your ear, let's talk positive. Let's talk positive. And when you say it's your me, myself, and I. So you go to your core and begin to start thinking positively, speaking positively, moving energetically in a positive way. And then that person that's talking that negative talk in your ear, let's talk positive. You don't have to judge them. You don't have to tell them what they're doing wrong or what they're doing right. Just let's talk positive. So can we all say that while we're together? On 3, we're going to say, let's talk positive. Okay. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Let's talk positive. All right. So why is it so crucial for people to talk positive things over their life, Marcy?
You know what? Positive and healthy self-talk has huge benefits to your body. It reduces stress. It reduces cardiovascular disease. It reduces the likelihood that cardiovascular disease will have a long-term impact. It has all these amazing actual physical components and impact on your life. In addition, when you open yourself up to speaking positively to yourself, you unlock an amazing amount of energy. One thing I see a lot of entrepreneurs doing is that they spin their wheels. They get into kind of a whirlpool of all the things they think they should be doing, and they don't know what to focus on, and they're just drifting around because they're busy in their heads saying, I don't know if this is what I should focus on, or I'm not really sure if I know how to do this, or whatever it is. All those things suck up your energy and your time. When you shift to a positive way of speaking to yourself, then no matter what comes up, you're able to reposition it to say, oh, okay, I've got this, or I simply don't know how to do this. So I'm going to throw out a tip here. This is secret sauce coming from Marcy McDonald. So I have my clients do something, what I call using the table sorting method. So I want you to picture that you have two tables. On one table, you put all the facts. On the other table, you put all the stories and the emotions that you're feeling. So anytime something comes up, like say you're trying to work on something and all this junk starts coming up about how you don't know how to do stuff, or maybe you should be working on something else, you pull back and you say, what are the facts here? And on that table, you just put simple facts. There's no judgment in them. I need to put a post on LinkedIn, period. That's a fact, right? The story is, I don't know how to post well on LinkedIn. Nobody ever responds to my posts on LinkedIn. I'm not getting any business on LinkedIn. I'm not getting any business, period. In fact, my mother was right. I shouldn't have started my own business. All those are stories. You go back to the fact table and say, it will take me 5 minutes to put a post on LinkedIn. It doesn't matter if it gets me a client. I will have done my job, which is to put a post on LinkedIn. The story table might be, oh yeah, but you could spend all day on this, and you have spent all day on this. It's just stories. So you have to filter out facts from stories, because the facts have no judgment in them. They're just observations. And there's huge power in facts and observations. It's the judgment and the stories that suck us dry. So that's a tip. When you start to get into this emotional whirlwind, go to the facts and the stories tables and just divide them up, and then lean on the facts. And just the fact that you're doing this exercise will help you pull out of that emotional whirlwind so that you can get something done.
Exactly. And there's one of my partners, Luminous Video Production LLC. Great to see you, brother. Always happy to have you here, and we hope that you're enjoying the conversation. Let us know where you're coming in from, because I know you're always traveling, and what value you've gotten out of the conversation so far. And Phyllis Weaver says, only you know your true love language, so be your first and best student. Wow, that's powerful. Again, it's going back within yourself. I love that. I love that. And Yamaja, what did Yamaja share, Marcy?
I have positive affirmations on heart-shaped Post-it notes down the center of my mirror. I read them about 5 times a day. That's beautiful. That's, as I said before, reading them aloud will really help. Here's what will really take this to the next level, because that's what I want everyone here to do, is to start stacking change so that you have the goal of reaching a life worth living becomes yours day by day. When you hear yourself saying something negative, I want you to reframe it in a clear, true statement. So look at those affirmations, Yamaja, and say, what is this tied to that I might be saying to myself that I'm worried about? So I'm going to give you an example. I had a client who didn't even know it, but she called herself fat all the time. And she never even heard herself, because she was so used to just thinking, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat. So we did the stories and the facts table. And on the stories table was, I'm fat, I'm unlovable, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, etc. It was tied to a huge amount of things. on the facts table was, I am 20 pounds overweight. No judgment. Now, she had put an affirmation on her refrigerator that said, I am skinny. But that wasn't true.
Right.
It was actually a lie. It was what she wanted. She wanted to be skinny, but every time she saw that, it actually reinforced the fact that she didn't believe in herself enough to do the exercise or eat properly because she was full of stress. So look at your affirmations, use them to empower you, but also dig in a little deeper and see if any of those affirmations are actually linked to something you're feeling about yourself that you would benefit from reframing in a true way to empower yourself to think really differently about yourself in a liberating way.
Awesome. I'm loving it. And so Limitless says, change always starts within, and our subconscious mind designs our physical world. Be mindful. Society is a product of our thinking and cannot be changed without it. Hashtag mindfulness mafia. Love it. Love it. Love it. Marcy, what do you think?
Hashtag mindfulness mafia. You know, I think mindfulness gets a bad rap, quite honestly, because there's so much in the press about be mindful, be mindful, be mindful. And it's easy to think, oh, I got to sit down and eat an orange and take an hour to do it and notice every single bite. And so it's out of reach for me. I think of mindfulness as a very practical thing. I call it practical mindfulness because all it is being present in your moment right now. And the way you do that, or a simple way to do that, is to do what I call the red flag test. So the second you notice that you're tensing up anywhere, whether that's a headache, a neck ache, a stomach ache, wherever you feel your stress, that is a sign to you. It's a red flag saying, pay attention to your body is telling you something is out of alignment emotionally and perhaps spiritually. Once you do that, then you can get out of that mind where you're not actually present and into what's really happening in front of you.
Right.
Your mind wants to go to the emotional negative past. You're constantly having to pull it into the present where there is no judgment. There just is what it is. And you can love what is so long as you let go of that negative past and that emotional mindset.
Right. I love it. I love it. And you know, the thing is that we were going to talk about be the best you can be. And you all have just given us all great nuggets and information. And here's the thing, you know, you want to really pay attention to your body because your body is really telling the stories. Mm-hmm. But also is telling the truth. It's telling a truthful story about what's going on with you. And so we're going to take a quick break, folks. We are at the top of the hour. We've only got like 3 minutes left. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come right back to you all and hear some more of your wonderful comments and get some closing thoughts from our amazing guest, Miss Marcy, that's here tonight. Miss Marcy McDonald, she's doing her thing. So look, we'll be right back. Thank you so much. See you soon.
It's time for you to start bossing in social media. For all your social media needs, you've come to the right place at the right time to get your website designed, landing page, social media platforms, and get the training you need to get in front of the people that's ready to buy your products and services. Let me train you with StreamYard, Zoom, Clubhouse, and much more. And let me help you get your virtual professionals, not assistants, because assistants can only assist you, but the virtual professionals can give you that professional flavor that you need to expand your reach and increase your revenue. Jump on in and get in where you fit in and start bossing today. Remember, follow the show on YouTube, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss a thing as you ignite and take flight in every area of your life.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the show. If you're just joining us, we are having a fabulous show tonight. I am here with my friend and your friend because she's come here tonight to not just be a friend, but also to help us win. She is none other than the mindset strategist and empowerment coach, Marcy McDonald. And so, guests, we appreciate you traveling in from all over the world. I know some of you said you're at work and you're still listening to the show, so thank you so much. And I want to bring up some comments quickly. Yamaja said, yes. Thanks so very much, beloved. And thank you too. Gail Richardson says, stack your life. That's right. Stack your life. And then Miss Lighty said, wow, I am so glad that I've come to this broadcast. And well, guess what? We are happy to have you. And what is Phyllis saying, Marcy?
I don't know what Darcy thinks, but Marcy says, I love journaling all the positives of my day. That's wonderful, Phyllis. I want to just say for a second, you're doing that, put you in an attitude of gratitude.
Yes.
When you have an attitude of gratitude, everything shifts for you because you're grateful for it. I want to encourage you to actually be thankful for everything that happens to you, good, bad, ugly, and different. When you do that, then you gain control over it. You never know what something will turn out to be as a positive in the long run. Sometimes years later, I'll go, oh, that's why that happened that way, even though it sucked at the time. But really, if I'm grateful for it, then my whole day is positive.
Yep. Awesome. Fantastic. And that's how I start off every morning with my staff. We start off attitude of gratitude. And speaking of my staff, my team, my family, I want to say a special thank you to my staff that always helps this program be the very best it can be, and to my clients that work with me day in and day out to help our company be the best it can be and help this show continue to do the best it can do for people all around the world just like you. And so if you're just joining us, please let us know where you're streaming in from. Again, attitude is the best gratitude. And there was a misspelling. Somebody let me know. But thank you so much. I appreciate you. Angela said gratitude is the best attitude. Your mind says gratitude gives me unstoppable joy. And guess what? We've got a question that we've got to answer before we chime out of here. And so I think that question is for you, Marcy.
Oh, yeah. I'm so glad you asked this. What role does the breath play in all of this? So I said, use the red flag test to alert yourself to when you're not aligned with the most positive and most wonderful self within you. I also then have as the next step what I call rational breath. So everybody knows that breathing deeply when you're stressed out is helpful. Unfortunately, most people don't actually know how to breathe deeply. Right. So I ask people to put their hands on their belly and look down at their hands on their belly. And I want you to breathe in so deeply, you actually can see your hands move. And then as you let out, have your hands move again. This does a bunch of things. It does physically, neurologically connect the rational mind and the emotional mind. And it tells the emotional mind to step back and bring forward the rational mind. It also, because you're using your hands, it physically grounds you into the present, into the actual space you're in. And so that works even faster to bring yourself into the mindset of what is happening right now that's real and not in my head. What are the facts? So that's how I help people really get the deep breath they need to be able to shift out of that emotional high anxiety state. So thank you for asking that.
Awesome. I love that. And it connects the rational mind. I love that you said that. And so with that being said, I see people still popping on. Thank you so much. I see Bronco from Minnesota. We're happy to have you here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the replay for those of you that just joined it. And don't forget, please share this broadcast with somebody that you know that needs to hear it. And even if you don't think that they need to hear it, go ahead and send it anyway, because you never know who needs to hear it, because you don't know what you don't know. And Phyllis said, yes, I always ask the Most High, what does he want me to learn from my experiences? Bronco said, you're welcome. And thank you so much. And so with that being shared, we're going to go right to our words of wisdom and the words of wisdom. But before we go there, how can people connect with you? how can they send you an email? How can they get your new book? I know you have your self-mastery-transformation.com. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so please connect with me on LinkedIn or go to my website, and on the first page, you'll see a video of me, but you also have a chance to sign up for my e-guide, which is 7 Secrets to Silence Your Inner Critic, which is just a great starter book for you to do some things immediately to help silence that inner critic and replace it with a supportive inner voice. There's also a lot of videos on there. You can find me on Vimeo, and there's some things on YouTube. I would love for people to connect with me, though, because then we can start a conversation. I don't like to just sit down and say, let's have a coaching call, because what I really need you to do is say, what could I be asking Marcy? Like, what's one question that I could ask her? And then reach out to me and message me on Facebook or on LinkedIn. And we'll have set up a call. Let's get your party started.
I'm loving it.
You go.
And don't forget to get her books, The 7 Steps to Silence Your Inner Critic by Marcy McDonald. Go ahead and get your book. You really can get this. It's really easy to sign up for. All you do is you put your first name right here, put your email right there, and sign up. Hey, that's all it's going to take. And then, look, Marcy's worked with some of the greatest people all around the world. She's a transformational coaching phenomenon. She has events and retreats that she's a part of, and soon, who knows, we may be hosting one for folks just like you all around the world. So there you have it. Go right to her page, and I'm going to copy this for you, and I'm going to put it right on the other side of this broadcast so that you can also connect with her and let her know that you saw her right here on the Lotus Riche Ignite show. Okay, there we go. So thank you, Marcy, for sharing that. And so, folks, with no other thing to do, I'm going right to our words of wisdom from Marcy's words of wisdom, final thoughts for the show tonight. So, Marcy, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Here's what I want everyone to remember. You are completely in charge of how you feel. Don't give your power away. Don't let other people make you feel bad. Don't think about other people and feel bad about them. Just own your own stuff and understand that if you feel bad, you have completely got the power to change that. It is within your hands, your mind, your heart to fully live the life that you want to be living. And that, as I think God intended us, is to be happy, to be intentional, to be loving, to be kind. It's pretty simple, my friends, but you just need to claim it. So that's my invitation. Claim it.
I was muted. Okay, so you got to claim it. You are in charge of what you feel. And so we said that we're going to give you 10 tips. Now, some of you may be just coming in. And I always say no takers or money makers. So listen, before we close down the show tonight, I'm going to give you 30 seconds. If you don't have a pen, if you don't have a pad, get your eyebrow pencil, get your lipstick, guys. I don't know what you can use. I don't know, but get something. Okay. You've got 30 seconds, and we're going to come back and give you our 10 tips that we promised you before the end of the show. Here goes. You've got 24, count them, 24, 23, 22 seconds to get your notepad and pen, because Marcy McDonald is here to help you win. And we are going to count them off and give you 10 tips to help you with your mindset to be successful. All right, so the first tip. Marcy said when she was working in corporate America, she was fried crispy. Now, fried crispy, some of y'all know what that means. You just burned out. You had enough. You're fed up. So the first thing, write this down. Do not allow yourself to get fried crispy. Before you get fried, crispy, go ahead and talk to somebody. I think Miss Phyllis said she loves to journal. So journal things down. Don't be afraid to do positive breathing. Some of us call it controlled breathing, to help you breathe out the negativity and breathe in the positivity. So, Marcy, tip 2, let's talk about that.
Set your intention. Every single minute of your day should be framed by what you decide you want to be giving to the world, how you want to be interacting with people, what you want to be feeling. That is your intention, and it is a subset of your purpose. It might even be your full purpose. I'm just going to throw out there that we've been having a thunderstorm, and while we're talking, there's a rainbow all the way across the sky that I'm looking out at. So that is an intention, a promise that if you set for yourself a way of approaching every single second of your day, you're going to be a happy person. You will.
All right. And so be aligned with your purpose. Know what your purpose is. And no matter what happens, don't walk away from your purpose. And how should their purpose be focused on, Marcy?
Your purpose is to live moment to moment. You want to be alive and in the present. You don't want to be dwelling on the past. You don't want to be projecting to the future. You want to just be awake to this moment right now so you can love what is.
All right. And guess what? You've got to do the work. You can't let somebody do it for you. This is tip 5. You've got to do the work. Do your own work. I heard Les Brown say, if it's hard, then do it hard. But you know what? You got to be hungry. And if you're really hungry and you want to have the success that you want, it all starts with the mindset. It all starts with the mindset. And for some of you that's just joining us, you may have missed the topic of tonight's show. But what we're talking about, we are talking about mindset, right? Mindset. I just got a name of a new book, Marcy. I'm going to tell you after the show. Just came to me. Your mindset. And this topic is helping you to be successful when you change your mindset. Our topic tonight is mindset, a strategy for success. And guess what? We are giving you these 10 tips. We've given you plenty, but we're giving you these 10 tips as promised before we say goodnight. And so you've got to do the work no matter what happens. Now, if you're in the midst of talking negatively to yourself, this is tip number 6.
You got to reframe. You have to notice it, and then you have to shift it to something that's true, unjudgmental, and hopefully positive, so that you don't sink into the morass that is that negativity. Negativity is just it's like having a bunch of leeches on your body. Reframing takes those leeches off and restores your energy.
All right. And number 7, we already know many people have that negative self-talk. So when you're in the grips of the negativity, I heard Ayala Van Zandt say, when she was in the grips of fear, she would look at it and say, fear, I know it's you. So here you go. Talk to that negative mindset. Hey, negative mindset, I know it's you. But guess what? Let's talk positive. And whoever's talking that negative stuff in your ear, even if it's you, let's talk positive, right? Let's talk positive. Why let's talk positive? Because it does what, Marcy?
It's going to reduce your stress. It's going to reduce the likelihood of cardiovascular disease and many other illnesses, much, much more. It actually helps your entire immune system. So during the whole COVID pandemic, if you are positive, you are going to be much less likely to get it because your immune system is boosted by positive self-talk.
Exactly. And then check this out. I think this is number 9 right here. Take it to the next level. Stack the change in life. Stack it because, look, Marcy told you about the tables. Marcy?
All right. You want to divide your thoughts into 2 tables when you're starting to get into that head spinning space where you're like a squirrel in a squirrel cage. On table 1, just put all the facts, everything that you can name that's a fact. And on table 2, throw all the stories, all the negative emotions, and then just look at them and say, where do I want to be? Do I want to be in the emotions or do I want to be in the facts? If you're in the facts, you can take care of business and move on through your life. I now have double rainbows, by the way.
Awesome. Fantastic. Fantastic. I'm loving it. And look, the second thing she talked about, that table 2. Don't forget, the table 2 is only the stories, and you can have, I'm telling you, here's some more secret sauce, number 10. But we're going to give them, we're going to give you a couple extra tips. Practical mindset, mindfulness, not just mindfulness, but practical mindfulness. Why in the world should it be practical mindfulness, Marcy?
Because the word mindfulness, that's just a bunch of woo-woo stuff, which I'm not against any woo-woo stuff. I got my own woo-woo side. But the fact is, I'm living minute to minute, and I want to be aware and awake of whatever is going on. That means I have to be mindful. So right now, yeah, I'm mindful of the amazing storm and rainbows outside my window. I'm mindful of talking to you, but I'm not in my head thinking, oh, I needed to finish my chapter, or tomorrow this is what I have to do, or I'm worrying about such and such. All that is irrelevant to the fact that right here, I'm practically speaking, just paying attention to what we're doing. And when you do that, it's so liberating and so beautiful and so joyful, because every second becomes a gift.
Exactly. And Marcy, you said when people are paying attention to what they're doing, they also need to be paying attention to your body. So here is your next tip. What is this? Tip 12? Is this tip 12? Pay attention to your body, because your body will also tell you the story of what's going on and whatever your truth is. And the final tip of the night is, Marcy?
The attitude of gratitude, still spelled very creatively.
I know, right?
It is a game changer, really, to start your day and end your day with gratitude. And any time through the day that you start to feel stressed, to go into a position of gratitude. So it doesn't matter if it's something horrible that you think is happening. If you say, thank you for this, I trust that I will get something from it, or that it just is what is. I'm going to love what moment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can never feel bad. It changes your mindset completely, because you automatically feel good about what it is that's going on. So attitude of gratitude, make it active gratitude.
Awesome. And I love it. And so we always lean back to you, our wonderful audiences. We always want to know what you think is important and what we can do to have a even more empowering show. And so Gail Richardson, I want to say thank you. She said great information. Angela Elton, she said great topic tonight. So thank you. And thank you, Miss Phyllis Weaver. She said this has been a fabulous show. Great information and tips. And of course, I said if you missed the beginning of the show, please catch the replay. And what did your mind just say? Help me out here. I'm going to take a sip.
No dumbing down my feelings. No, just acknowledge your feelings. You know, we're going to feel sad sometimes. We're going to feel mad sometimes. Mm-hmm. We're not perfect beings, and we're not meant to be perfect. It's just that when you notice that you're feeling a way that isn't in harmony, that it's showing up in your body, then just say, okay, I'm feeling sad. What's going on? Oh, this is what's happening. And then, you know what? Feel it as long as you want to feel it, but set a time limit on it. You don't get to be mad for days on end. Just be mad, process it, unpack it, and then say, okay, I'm done, because I would rather feel good about my day.
Awesome. And Miss Lottie says, yes, this has been an awesome show. So thank you. Angie said, LOL, fried crispy. That's right, fried crispy. Jeff Martinet Jr., shout out from Ohio. We're happy to have you here. Kay De Leon is watching from the Philippines. Happy to have you here. Stop the negative self-talk. Angie says, let's talk positive. Yamija says, wait, let me go back up. I missed it a little bit. Okay. Awesome show, ladies. And thank you so much. Kay says, a happy outlook creates a happy body. And yes, it does. Angela says, I love the double rainbow. So we're getting twice the rainbows for the show tonight. So thank you so much. And she says, stay in the moment. And Miss Gail, let's see, it went past that. Miss Gail said, gratitude. Raquel Robin, hello, hola, happy to see you here. Let us know where you're coming in from. And Miss Lottie says, thanks for all the golden nuggets. I have taken my notes. So thank you so much. And so be sure to join me tomorrow night. Be sure to join me tomorrow at 11 a.m. when I'm going to be bringing you some more amazing golden nuggets at 11 a.m. tomorrow, when I am going to be sharing 15 minutes of success with Tanita, best-selling author herself. We want to make sure that you're there and make sure you're in your seats. We're going to be right here on Facebook Live. We will be on YouTube, and we'd love to have you there. We're only going to be in front of you for 15 minutes, more 15 minutes of success. So with that being said, we love you, and we'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock, and stay tuned for more of the Lotus Riche Ignite Show. And I see you said, Phyllis said, wake up and meet each new day with excitement and anticipation for new opportunities. And having said that, we'll see you next time right here on the Lotus Riche Ignite Show. Good night.
Thank you for watching the show. And remember, always follow us on Facebook. Like and share, and make sure you tag a friend and let them know that you care. Let us know what other type of shows you'd like us to present for you.